Who do you think's gonna win, Smiley? Before we get into tank picking the first round.
I think it's no hard feelings, but I think it could go either way if CatJAM actually is trying to play seriously.
If CatJAM took this like long weekend to do some work, they have potential. And No Hard Feelings has potential too, but CatJAM does have potential, but I think it's gotta be No Hard Feelings as well.
Their lineup isn't.
I'm giving them the slight
Look at
edge,
this. This is like the most. I mean, besides the 50B, this is kind of the most standard lineup I think we've seen from CatJAM. Not a 113 in sight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 113 itself isn't bad. It's when it's coupled with all the light stuff. But yeah, the CS on attack makes sense. You know, it's got really it's really fast. It can give you the early spots on the hill, and we've seen the bat jet used as well, but it has its issues.
I wonder why 2i7s over 277s. Because on defense, a lot of people are heavy, and like that 340
is a little.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is the i7 turret if it's in a specific spot, like a window.
But on attack, like what are they doing
to
where
it's faster going downhill? It's faster going 8-1 than a 277.
True.
But only slightly. It's not like a big difference, to be honest.
They have a little bit more HP.
A little more HP, yeah. And you can see here, Storage is playing the bat jet. He will be.
He's probably going to go to the D5 area. Remember we've talked about this.
And trying to give them initial lights, but he's not going to actually spot anything because everything's going in. It looks like this is why we're seeing the double ISM. They are going to probably send everything straight up the 8 line immediately and go very aggressive very quickly. Stored here, looking for eyes. Will the Super Conqueror spot them? He does, and now Stored knows he needs to run, and needs to run now because all those tanks are lit by the Super Conqueror at D3.
T100 might get a shot off here. We do see it going off on Felix.
And Stored will get out, but it's, you know, it's actually somewhat close kind of as they're approaching, but he will be safe.
Look at this No Hard Feelings flex. Pretty clean so far.
Basically everything coming up north. Looks at the VZs, maybe going with the bat jet to the courtyard. Looks like a little bit of a hesitation. Yeah, one of them is turning around. He's going into the courtyard, and actually the CS has left the hill.
Ooh, this is kind of interesting where they have 2 guys on both sides.
Oh yeah, a little double cap pressure. Trying to force the issue a little bit quicker. There is no 5-line punish. They didn't send anything down in the south, and they know that. So
looks like he's practiced that a little bit too, because the way he's angled, like it would be hard for the bunker to get a shot off. Looks like they're gonna go for Waifu.
Run around the corner towards
He misses
Waifu.
one, hits another.
Now Attila will get his shots out. He's trying to shield Attila a little bit as they back off. Trade was honestly pretty even. But
I'm wondering what Felix is waiting for. Oh, I guess he can't really play there because of the bat chat.
Yeah, the bat chat's keeping him completely locked down, and
he might need
CS is at B0.
Unless he's just holding 8 line on purpose.
I mean, right now they're okay because it's got to come with these VZs reloading. They have to poke out again, but the 277 VZs sitting there, they can trade pretty effectively and efficiently here.
Oh, this is really good. If they light the bat chat crossing, Felix needs to cross. Because they're going to push this. He needs to get his clip out.
Waifu's taking some damage. He's down to 700 HP now. They will finish him, but yeah, this is a fantastic move. You're absolutely right. You saw it ahead of me. And now the 50B is going across with the VZs. They will pick Honey Badger. And all of a sudden, that 277 and VZ at C7 are completely useless. They're not able to do anything.
Yep.
So we'll pick him up here in a... Oh, no, they actually don't kill him. They didn't actually kill Honey Badger.
Nope. Looks like they're trying to pick up Ali.
Shots? Ali's down to a 1-shot. Gold is taking some hits. Nova is there now. He's driving around. He will dump his second clip here.
Oh my god. He manages barely to pick it off.
Nova's just waiting for that load. He will finish the VZ in just a moment. Felix has arrived now too. Felix starts shooting at Nova. Felix will go down, and CatJAM is going to lose this round. And No Hard Feelings. It wasn't as perfect as could have been, but that was it looked clean. It just, I think a couple of connections didn't happen.
The bat chat 100% got lit crossing through that bunker entrance. As soon as he got lit crossing the 7 line, my instinct as a 50B would be to get to B8 as fast as possible because I'm going to need to clip some heavies.
So that first poke, they bounced, I think, one shot. They really just did a... I'm not really...
playing for time or something? Okay.
I'm not really sure. probably memeing, having some jokes and some fun. Is all I can think of. But hey, no hard feelings. Convincing first victory. That first trade with their VZs. The one benefit they had, they landed 3 out of 4 shots, but they landed it all on the same target.
He did do damage, but I mean, clipping the 50B at the
They
end
took
isn't
3
really
shots in
considered
return
damage.
for it.
Yeah,
It's like they did 3 shots damage. They took 3 shots. Granted, their alpha was a little higher, but still, like.
So Bolt needed to overpoke for the one shot a lot sooner. In that scenario, it's not even worth it, because did you see how he just got like just decimated? Like there's a time and place, and like he needed to do it a lot sooner, when most likely when Waifus was still alive, right? But once he died, I feel like the poke wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and look at Nova doing 3,500 damage and a kill. Attila, 3K and 3 kills. Their VZs and their 50Bs were allowed to do multiple clips, and you can just see it right there. And Storage still got out 1 kill and almost 2K damage. Not bad. Some of that was at the end, but still. And Ali, although he looked like he got focused down, was a one-shot, he still got out 2K damage before that happened.
Correct.
Just showing you the Super Conqueror can put out some punish, and I assume he probably got at least 1 shot on them up the 8 line, along with, as you were pointing out, for the punish at the beginning.
Yeah, that strat wasn't bad. I think that the problem I see with some of these, I don't know. I personally feel like if you're going to play like that, I feel like almost 2 VZs would have been better for them.
Yeah, I could see that. I liked the double IS-7 cap pressure. They just didn't have... It's like they were setting up going, okay, we're going to figure out which way they're going to poke. And then they turned out poking.
They could have... Like, I get the CS, but... Yeah.
It was a good call by No Hard Feelings of not to poke that D line again and just go, well, no, we know those 2 guns are there. Let's just all go up the 5 line. It's just a CS at B0. Who cares? Let's just cross. And now that guy's on the A line, like at that point, that IS-7 on the A line actually had to leave.
I think the 50B
could no longer be there for
the 50B and the CS needed a flex for shots. I think is like the most important thing from that match that we can kind of see from it.
But yeah, credit to No Hard Feelings for kind of like they made an okay generic kind of call at the beginning, and then they made
their flex was really clean, and they did a really good push. That was the right push. They picked the isolated
should have done
tank.
more to make it not too obvious, but yeah. Gotta call positive for No Hard Feelings, and tanks being picked: double VZ, 277 E150B, IS-7 from CatJAM. I mean, these are standard lineups. Let's be real; these are standard lineups from both sides. IS-4, E100, VZ, Super Conqueror, 50B Batchat. I mean, 50B plus Batchat. I just don't like the Batchat on defense. I'll be real, and I don't even really. Oh yeah, it's being brought on attack. No, it's a. And it was the CatJAM brought it on defense.
Yeah, they did.
I don't even necessarily like it on attack anymore either. I don't know. I'm feeling like the CS with just that little bit more HP. I don't know, like in just the straight DPM.
No hard feelings brought it on. They brought it on defense. Remember, because it was stored. He did the 5 line thing.
Yeah, no, they did, and I'm not liking it, and I don't like it on attack. I feel like the CS is superior on attack.
I think
the Batchat on attack struggles to find like.
I think that it just. I think it's a. I think the Batchat ultimately is. It just depends on the player that's in it.
On some of these other maps, I think the Batchat's really good. I'm just not completely sold on Himmelsdorf. I guess more serviceable on attack than defense. On defense, I really dislike it. But Stort's playing essentially the same role that a CS would play. They do a lot of the same things, and they give you certain benefits and certain weaknesses, and it's going to be a 2-line defense and a 2-line attack as well, but No Hard Feelings hasn't committed quite yet. We'll see once they kind of run into everyone, and Bolt's bleeding there. Supernova there, you can see he's going to get another shot here in a moment. As he goes for it, he misses that one. It is a low probability, but he actually takes a hit that time, which is not worth it.
But it looks like Gold's going to play aggro here, maybe.
A lot of times there you try to get a little.
They brought an IS-4. I just assume they might go 0 line and do that cap.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's this defense, by the way, is kind of like we've seen it play out a few times. This is the kind of aggressive down in the
well, I mean, if I was No Hard Feelings, I mean, I would hope that they're looking at each other's replays I would say that CatJAM has a real big problem, like pushing into other teams and like picking the right tanks and like winning those fights.
And right now you can also see the other thing. Even 100 starting to rotate back north because like things have stalemated and they don't have any eyes north and they don't really have a good reaction.
And so this is
for
a
any sort of
good.
north
This is
pressure.
kind of good in favor of CatJAM because they can kind of see them leaving. All they have to do is make the flex. I mean, if you're not lighting anymore, you know, people need to start moving. It looks like they have no vision on the A line, which is a big no-no. Look at this. So they're just doing
And
this
they're
for
starting
free.
to pressure up in the south as well. Like they did begin to move up, but they don't know.
The 100
the
is going back.
Like, they don't know how many tanks are north and how many tanks are south. I guess is kind of the short end of it. That's what you were getting at.
Oh
and
no!
That's so that people know what
We've seen this so many times.
They could be running into 7 tanks here. They don't know. They could be running
we've seen this so many times where people go just stay on the 2 line and go back to base. Like okay.
Because there's nothing wrong with that. Like
actually, they're actually not making the mistake that I thought. I thought they were gonna take their time and clear the HJ. But it looks like they're just assuming
that they have to get going really quickly, and they
correct.
kind of realize it too. Waifu's cutting in.
I actually feel like they don't get it because the E100 is playing.
He's going to be a little bit of a back guard here in a second.
So Demonic is going to take so much damage for this.
They're scrambling right now.
Oh wow, he actually
only gets shot once or twice, and Ali's taking some hits. They don't really get the resets they're looking for, though, I don't think. And now Bolt is driving across. They're going straight for Ali. Honey Badger does go down E100 in the north, though, at the same time, because now No Hard Feelings isn't committed to the cap. They're pushing to kill those tanks in the north while they're losing their tanks in the south. Ali is just trying to live as long as possible, and the DPM of the Super Gunner is still really good. He was able to get out decent amount of damage for the amount of time that took to kill.
Felix gets picked by Attila.
3k HP, 2k HP. It's going to be a little bit worse here in a moment. As Yak gets face hugs Ad Astra with Gold to try to finish here before he gets this next clip out, possibly. E100 just a wee bit tall. You see him trying to barrel block, but oh, bit of a low roll there from the E100, rolling I think it was 428 damage, but I think he'll be okay. Low pen of the APCR there, and here comes the counter push from CatJAM, but too little, too late. As I don't think they'll even win this.
Imagine if CatJAM had an E3, you know? Unfortunate.
Yeah. If they had an E3, yeah. But if they had an E3, they probably wouldn't play that aggressive in the south, right? This wasn't exactly this. They sent so many tanks south. But, I mean, I'll give credit to CatJAM. That wasn't like an awful defense at all. Like, where we were talking about them bringing really kind of derpy lineups and doing kind of silly things. This was, I'd say this was reasonably standard. They just, No Hard Feelings reacted faster and got the better of them.
Yeah, I mean, well, the vision was just really bad.
With all those tanks on the 2 line, they didn't have anyone.
They literally just got out. They literally just got out for free. They literally got on cap. The only person that moved a little bit before they started cap pressure was the E100.
Yeah, and he was just moving because they were going like, they're not poking. Okay, I gotta start going like they. And I'm just thinking it could have been 2 people from their perspective. It could have been 2 people on the cap and 5 tanks remaining in the south for all they knew. They actually had no idea where anything was. The only reason they knew that the 2 went north is because there was 2 on the cap. That's the only thing they knew.
Also, the 50B staying with the E100 in that scenario was terrible. Like you got to run in the 50B and group up with your team instead of staying there trying to like win a losing fight. As soon as if I was that 50B, as soon as I saw those guys pushing across the cap to the E100, I would just left them because there's like no point in fighting that because you're gonna be they're gonna shoot you first.
And they're gonna shoot you only getting out 2 shots of damage, and Honey Badger I think only getting out 1 shot of damage. That is not enough. Even if they're the isolated picks, like they need to be able to get out more damage than that.
Yep.
When the enemy's pushing them. So No Hard Feelings off to a quick 2-0 lead as I again managed to flip the scores on my score sheet. Sorry about that.
I mean, the way it's going, I wouldn't be surprised if they 4-0.
Honestly, yeah. But we've seen CatJAM have issues on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it was a really good pick by them. Remember? I said earlier it was a really good pick because CatJAM has been such a weird team. But the problem is we're going to steps now, and
where kind of
I
anything can happen.
I haven't. I mean, like I haven't. Like that's the problem with CatJAM. I think mainly is the fact that well, both of these teams really is like I can't go like, oh well, by our statistics, no hard feelings is gonna win the both Himmels while CatJAM wins both steps. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Whereas like if we were talking about, for example, like like the game we just saw, right? Whereas like FHS versus Team Flare, like we knew Team Flare was like nutty on Sand River, right?
Hmm.
And we knew that both teams are pretty good on Himmels, you know?
And we thought too, like a lot of times these teams, like they would have played each other in the third match of the season. It's rare that the two teams that are fighting for relegation are actually playing in the last round of the round robin to find out. It's usually something else goes on. Like the match that was played earlier would have had implications if this team had won or that team had gotten
Right.
to a tiebreaker. This is just kind of unusual, and I think no hard feelings showing that, at least on Himmelsdorf, they definitely did their homework.